We are starting to see action coming from our federal government in Illinois.
5 Democrats voted for it as well.
Let me be clear. Non-citizen voting reduces confidence in our elections. American elections are for American citizens, and we intend to keep it that way.
The law would require people to provide documents proving their citizenship when they register to vote, and it would give states access to federal databases to help them remove non-citizens from the rolls.
Let's start with receipts.
Hello, and thank
proof,
you for the opportunity
validated
to speak
information.
today. My name is Babe Poxtus. I am a lifelong resident of Chicago and a Cook County property taxpayer for more than 30 years. I am also a volunteer for United Sovereign Americans and not an official spokesperson. I will read part 1 of a 6-part presentation. Today I come to you as a concerned citizen of the state of Illinois, sharing alarming information about our state's voter database, uncovered through thousands of hours of research conducted by our highly qualified and credentialed data team. While the numbers are staggering and somewhat difficult to comprehend, one thing is clear: they do not add up. Just like your checkbook must balance, so must our votes. If you had 10,000 fewer dollars in your bank account than you had deposited, you would certainly want to know what happened. And if a company had that significant a discrepancy in their books, they would most certainly conduct an audit. In fact, yearly audits are required by law for all public companies. Our audit of the 2022 election, using only official data provided by state elections officials, shows that the 2022 election may not have been accurate or legally compliant. We are not saying one candidate won over another, or that any election should be overturned. The state's official data from a certified election shows that the votes as counted were not all valid and accurate under the law.
Let's get into the
My name is
numbers
Michelle
now.
Peterson, and I'm continuing the resolution with United Sovereign Americans. I live in Grundy County and have been a resident of Illinois for 26 years. I also lived in Cook County for 4 years. I'm a volunteer with United Sovereign Americans and not an official spokesperson. I will continue part 3 of a 6-part presentation. Whereas an open source audit of the Illinois 2022 general election conducted by Illinois state citizens has uncovered evidence of massive inaccuracies that violate both federal and state laws, including 4,032,801 ineligible or uncertain registration violations found within the Illinois state voter roll database. Again, that was 4,032,801. 589,985 votes cast by ineligible or uncertain registrations. 27,491 more votes counted than voters who voted in the 2022 general election. No one knows who cast them. 589,952 apparent voting violations in excess of the legal standard of system accuracy for a valid federal election, which goes back to the HAVA law of 2002, where we would have been allowed only one error for every 125,000 ballots cast. For the 2022 general election in Illinois, this number was 33. Yet we had 589,985 errors. Certification as defined by law and attestation of accuracy and compliance appears to have been fraudulent and illegal, whereas these findings trample accuracy requirements of voting systems for a federal election. For voting system, accuracy is defined as the ability of the system to capture, record, store, consolidate, and report the specific selections and absence of selections made by the voter for each ballot position without error. Whereas it must be known factually and provably that the intent of the voters accurately represented by election results before certification can be lawfully conducted. Certification of an election that varies from the law is an abridgment of the civil rights of the citizens, a fraud ab initio, United States v. Throckmorton, 98 U.S. 61, 1878. Whereas Illinois' 2022 general election appears to have been invalid, depriving us of the guaranteed protection of our natural rights under a government duly and provably chosen by us, the American people, resulting in incalculable damage to our families, our way of life, and the fabric of these United States.
As reported by Capital News Illinois, the U.S. Department of Justice is insisting Illinois election officials hand over the state's entire computerized voter registration database. In a letter dated Thursday, August 14th, an attorney in the department's Civil Rights Division rejected the Illinois State Board of Elections' offer of a partially redacted database. However, as the Attorney General requested, the electronic copy of the statewide VRL must contain all fields, including the registrant's full name, date of birth, residential address, his or her state driver's license number, or the last 4 digits of the registrant's social security number as required under the Help America Vote Act, HAVA, to register individuals for federal elections. The letter indicated DOJ was making the request under a provision of the National Voter Registration Act, also known as the Motor Voter Act, a 1993 law that was intended to make it easier for people to register whenever they conducted other government business, such as obtaining a driver's license or renewing their vehicle registration. DOJ first requested a copy of the Illinois database in a July 28th letter. That was a few weeks after the agency filed what's known as a statement of interest in a civil lawsuit that the conservative legal activist group Judicial Watch, along with other plaintiffs, had filed against the state board, alleging it was not meeting its duties under HAVA to maintain the voter database. In its letter Thursday, however, DOJ said the list that the Elections Board provided was insufficient. On Monday, Pritzker declined to say whether the board's decision to provide the partially redacted database was the correct one. But he also accused the Trump administration of ulterior motives. He also defended Illinois' decentralized election system. We have, actually, one of the safest, best systems in the entire country because it's run by individual county clerks, so it's unhackable, he said. Pritzker wrote a check that he could not cash this time. It's about time that justice will serve the citizens of Illinois from the activities which has been occurring. We don't need dictatorship. We need what the United States Declaration of Independence stated. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Preamble to the Declaration of Independence, designed for the American citizens. Like, comment, share, and subscribe as we continue to bring the knowledge, facts, and receipts for making the best decisions. You can also research for verification and validation. See you in the next one.